All right. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. My name is Ozmourn. There's been a bit of a mix-up in the schedule again, due to some last-minute changes for some runners. But I am super excited to be here for two games, Liminal Ranger and Goosebumps Dead of Night, which is the game that actually fits in this marathon. But right here is Liminal Ranger. It is actually an amazing a little speed game. It is free on itch.io. Well, it's pay your own price. So technically free, but I highly recommend donating to the developer if you have some spare change to give to a really good developer and a really good game. And so yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it. There is a lot that I have to say and not a lot of time to say it. I'm gonna be showing off pretty much my two shortest runs that I have for y'all. So, and to my knowledge, I am also doing the true ending. So we're going to be seeing that. Thank God that incentive got met. Thank you so much to all those who donated for it. And I'm going to be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is the ultimate programmer strat of skipping through text. We walk over to this corner and we realize that our friend is missing after we talk to them. And then we turn around thinking that they're there and realize that something has gone horribly wrong. And now we spend the next 5 years working for an organization meant to increase the universe and make the spaces between dimensions happy. And that's where our friend is lost into a space between dimensions. Liminal spaces, if you will. This is our boss. His name is Boss, so please refer to him as such. And then we're just going to skip the tutorial, but don't worry, I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to explain everything to you. We have a lot of different abilities that we have that we're going to pick up here. The first one being a hammer, which we break glass with, because what else would you do? The next thing that we're going to be doing is a spray that kills these enemies, or the bad vibes as they're called. And if we're good at the game, that's the only time we ever need to use it. And so this is the pogo stick. The second jump will always be higher than the first one, and you can just keep the momentum going if you time your jumps correctly. And right here, we're going to be grabbing that checkpoint for safety, but then we're going to be using the teleporting coin at the peak of our jump, and we're going to get a bit extra height and get into this next section. Wait for this guy. And the teleporting coin is literally the exact thing that it sounds. You just hit left click to shoot it and then hit right click to teleport to where you shot it. And that is it. We're going to grab this checkpoint that we're going to come back to later. Then we have to deal with some enemy cycles here. But thankfully, if we're good at the game, the enemy cycles shouldn't be too much of a hindrance. And we're in a very strange space in which more specifically a hallway. A hallway or any of the spaces are kind of personified by shadows on the wall that kind of look like humans a bit. And so right here, essentially, we're grabbing the memories of each of these spaces because they don't feel like they're appreciated. They're sad, and we're gonna need to make them happy and realize and bring back the memories of people who spent time in those places. And so the memories for this specific section, the hallway, we have 4 soda cups and then 4 benches. You know, the natural things you'd find in these spaces. And right here, after grabbing all the soda cups, we're going to come back to this center section, and we're going to leave that teleporting coin there to come back to it later. And then we are doing the true ending, so we're going to go out of our way after grabbing this checkpoint real quick, and we're going to grab this memento. The mementos in these games are there's one per level, and they kind of relate to our friend that we lost 5 years ago. And so by collecting them, you end up unlocking the true ending and having a pretty similar estimate, because you don't have to go like that far out of the way to go get the mementos or anything like that. And then right here, we're at the other side where we're going to go through this dilapidated building and get 4 benches. Now these benches, we originally had a route that would get them from top to bottom, or bottom to top, but now we have it from top to bottom, starting with this one right here, or that's the second one that we're doing. And I messed up a bit of movement there, but that's perfectly fine. Come on. There we go. Okay, thank goodness. Okay, a little bit of a hiccup there, but that's perfectly fine. We're going to be grabbing this sign and then this bench, and then immediately get attacked by enemy to go back to the checkpoint. Then, after grabbing the last one, we're going to be teleporting back to this to the coin that we left here. And just for safety, I said that we were good, but apparently we're not that good today. We're going to be killing that enemy just to make sure it doesn't bother us. And now, since we skipped the first interaction, or since we collected all the memories of this space before interacting with it, we skipped the first interaction. And now we're introduced to a mechanic which we have to get rid of an item and then upgrade an item. We're going to get rid of the spray because it's like, who cares? And then we're going to be upgrading the hammer, because the hammer's ult ability that we unlock after upgrading it is the most broken thing in this game, even though we're not actually breaking it. This is an intended mechanic. We just use it to bypass a lot of things. And so you just right click and then jump, and suddenly you can fly. You know, the natural thing you would do with a hammer, because what else would a hammer be good for? And we're going to go out of our way right here to grab a last memento, this clock, and that's pretty much the majority of our transportation in the air that's going to be done throughout the rest of this run, is this flying hammer. And the height of your jump will always depend on the time of your the timing of your spacebar hit after doing right click. And so that the more well timed it is, the higher and more velocity you will get from the flight. And right here, we're going to just go through this section and try to avoid some of these enemies here. And in reality, I like to use the pogo stick a little bit more in this section, even though theoretically the hammer is faster, only because the pogo stick, you have a bit more control over yourself in the air. And there we able to grab a light switch through the wall there. You can grab objects through walls, and we actually passed by an invisible wall that was supposed to prevent us from coming to this section before interacting with the room, which is this space right here. But it doesn't reach all the way, so we can just go around it. And right here, we're going to fly up and grab the last light switch, which is one of the 4 memories of this section, and then teleport back to where we put this coin. We're actually going to leave this coin right up here as well, so we can come back to it later. And then we're going to go up the left side, or the right side of this map, in order to grab the chairs, which is the other 4 memories that we're going to be grabbing for this this hotel room. And we're going to grab this checkpoint and then immediately fly up using the hammer to this upper section, so we can pretty much skip going up that entire building right there. We're going to grab this checkpoint, and then we're going to turn around this corner and then maneuver our way through here, grab this chair, and then get a hit on purpose so we get pushed back to the checkpoint. Fly over here, grab this chair, reset checkpoint, and then the last thing that we're going to do is bring out this so we can teleport immediately after grabbing this chair, and then grab this chair and then teleport back to where you put the coin at the beginning of the level. And that allows us to just get to the end immediately. And you can interact with this guy through this wall here, which then gets rid of the invisible wall. And you can just skip the first interaction because you already got all the memories and all that jazz. And now we're supposed to get rid of an item here, but for some reason, whenever you are in that phase, you like have free movement, and so you can just you're in that screen where you have to choose which item to get rid of. You have free movement, so you can just reset checkpoint and then go through the portal, and you don't have to give up an item. You can just go to the next place without giving one up. And this is the only part of the run in which will have any time to speak. So if you need to say something, you can say it now.
Thank you so much. So just a reminder that the Clock Tower team is raising funds for the Safe in Our World organization, and the proceeds from this fundraiser benefits their Press Pause event. If you're not familiar with Safe in Our World, it's an accredited charity supported by industry luminaries, veterans, and ambassadors across the world, and its mission is to create an online destination where people can seek, gain access to resources and information, and discover stories from real people within and surrounding the game industry.
All right, thank you so much, Egan. Now we're at the very last section, and believe it or not, the space that we're interacting with right here is the corridor in which we lost our friend in 5 years ago. We're going to leave our teleporting coin at the very beginning of the section so we can come back to it later, and then we're going to use the flight ability from this hammer in order to go what could be considered out of bounds. There's really no bounds to go out of, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's intended to get up here. But we're going to be grabbing 4 skateboards and 4 vents, you know, the natural things you'd find in a corridor that's public, and we're going to grabbing them top to bottom like this, grabbing this checkpoint, and then grabbing one last skateboard over here, resetting the checkpoint, and then using the hammer's flight ability in order to maneuver our way through the chest of this giant enemy, or bad vibe as they like to call it. Ooh, okay, that was so close. I honestly thought I was gonna get hit there. Grab this skateboard, reset the checkpoint again, and then maneuver our way through here to grab the last skateboard over here on this platform down there. All right, now we can just teleport back to where we put the coin. We're gonna toss it here again, so we can immediately just talk to the corridor after collecting the vents over here on the other side. And then once more, we're going to be collecting these vents top to bottom, pretty much taking every advantage that we can with the hammer's fightability. It's the best thing in this game, and the best mode of transportation. You can essentially just skip any and all platforming with it. Grab that vent right over here, and we're going to grab this last memento, which is the book. And then we're going to go back up here. We're going to fall down here, grab this vent through the wall, and then fall down here, grab this vent. That one's kind of finicky, but thankfully it cooperated with us this time. And I'm gonna wait until this guy is looking away and grab this vent, then shoot back to where we put the coin. And now, since we got all mementos, we unlock this true ending, in which we meet our friend who has been lost for 5 years. They've been traveling through the spaces of dimensions, and they are inviting us to come with them, in which we do accept. But as you can see, they look very different from when we first met them. They've been to a lot of different places in the universe, and so we're about to join them on their journeys. And so time will be coming up after I hit the door frame after this last cutscene. And so 3, 2, 1, time. So that is Liminal Ranger. It's a really good game. It's a really fun speedrun. It's a really approachable speedrun, I'd say, especially if you're into first-person puzzle platformers or adventure platformers, however you like to define them. First-person mechanics are really good in this game, and has a lot of different movement options. We have a lot of different categories and all that jazz, including a coin only. It is possible to beat this game with only the coin. And so we're a nice community, a small community, and I highly recommend checking this game out if you're looking for something new. And again, it is free on its title, but I highly recommend donating to the dev if you can. But either way, download this game, even if it's just casually. I highly recommend it. And yeah, that's enough for me. But we'll be back with Goosebumps Dead of Night.